Okay.
What's up, everybody?
What is going on, everyone?
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
And today we are going to talk about dating. Why? Because
we love dating.
we love love.
We love love.
If you don't know, we are Kara and Caleb.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Caleb.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about dating. 4 tips, right?
Yeah.
Like 4 practical ways to improve your dating life.
4 practical ways to improve your dating life, because a shitty dating life usually leads to kind of sometimes, a shitty life. And so I'll be honest with you, I am somebody that did not really date very often, but with the few times that I did date and the relationships that happened after the time of dating, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a really lot. So we're both going to kind of reflect on our own.
I've dated a lot.
Yeah, you have.
I've dated a lot. And I've learned a lot.
Yes. And our dating lives have led us to each other.
Ooh.
And so both are going to reflect on our own dating experience in hopes that it inspires, empowers, or encourages you in your own dating life. So we also, this is important, we don't know what our advice would be.
Oh, so you're going to give 2, I'm going to give 2.
I'm going to give 2.
We don't know what each other's are.
Yeah, we probably should have prepared a little bit more for this video.
No, I love it. I love it.
So you're going to go first. I have no idea what you're going to say.
Okay.
So what is your first tip on how to improve your dating life?
My first tip on how to improve your dating life is be open to dating someone who is not your type.
Why do you say that?
Okay, I actually think this is a really important tip. I work with women all the time on dating, and this is something that comes up. Oh, he's not my type. He's not my type. What I really love encouraging people to do is figure out how you want to feel with the person, not necessarily what they look like on paper, right? So how do you want to feel when you meet the person you want to spend your life with? How does it feel emotionally? How does it feel? Does it feel playful, or whatever it might feel? I think those are the true things to emphasize when you think about a type. If I had stuck to my type, I would never have dated Caleb. I never dated an athlete. I was like afraid of muscles. They were like intimidating to me. And I dated like emo. I mean, you're a little bit emotional. You are emotional.
I'm very emotional.
But I think on paper, I wouldn't have said this is my type.
Yeah. But
he is 100% my soulmate. And I feel like if I can encourage anyone in something, I'm like, really be open to dating outside of what you think your type is on paper.
And maybe you can speak to this. That doesn't mean you have to compromise non-negotiables.
Oh, 100%. You can have non-negotiables. I think that's great. But if I were like, I only want to date like tall, skinny, brunette guys that have blue eyes, then I'm really limiting what's possible for me.
Yeah, that's good.
And I love love stories, and I know a lot of them, and most people are surprised by what they end up with.
That's true, actually. I can think of a couple people in our lives right now.
Yeah.
Love that.
What's yours?
Mine is, it really is learn how to practice self-awareness.
Ooh.
And I say that because I used to date. It's important because I think let me say it like this. I think we have to know what is driving us into a relationship, what is driving us into our dating experiences, because the energy that drives us into a dating experience or into relationships is the energy that we bring into a relationship. And so if that energy is like a clingy, needy energy, or if it's an energy that's coming from a pain point. I'm somebody that historically, before I met Kara, I would always date when I was in seasons of transition. And oftentimes when you're in a life transition, sometimes it's kind of sticky. And there was a lot of, unfamiliar territory that I'd be like kind of navigating in seasons of transition, a lot of ambiguous things happening in my life, not much clarity, not much vision. And so that would create a lot of chaos in me. And I would always date during those seasons. And I think looking back, what I was looking for was a sense of control, right? And not that I'm controlling the girl, but just like, oh, I have something that I can cling on to that could help me feel more safe and feel more control. But I was dating in a lot of ways from pain. And so I think as I learned how to practice more self-awareness in life, I could begin to understand the why behind my intention to date. And so I would say if there's one thing that I can encourage you on doing, it's prioritize self-awareness, learning how to become more self-aware around your dating life. And obviously this doesn't just help your dating life, this helps
all of life.
All of life.
All right, my second one? My second one is don't be afraid to have hard conversations.
This is good.
This is a really good one.
Can you also, as you explain this, give us a tip on
how to have Yeah. So again, myself included in this, I feel like I've met a lot of women who are afraid to bring something up. Like, I don't want to freak him out in the beginning, or I just like almost this insecurity of actually saying what you need and want. And I think having hard conversations means showing up as your full self from the beginning. And I think that, there's just a lot of space to dive into really tricky, potentially uncomfortable topics. Yeah. And if this is a person you want to spend your life with, why not do that from the beginning? Like, why not actually start as a foundation, having these conversations that might be a little bit more intimidating.
It reveals a lot.
It reveals a lot.
It reveals a lot about their emotional capacity.
Yep.
But then I also think there is some leadway. We just did recently a video on why it's so important to create emotional safety inside your relationship, and you can find that probably somewhere around here or down here. But sometimes I think early on, if you do ask hard questions, if the person sitting across from you does not feel emotionally safe, which is completely fine because maybe it's because of their past experiences, it just might take some time. But I think there are benchmarks that you can measure throughout your relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think some of the things, like when we think back to how we said non-negotiables, I just think like if you're going into a dating situation and you're just going to skirt away from everything that's important to you. For example, if you really want to have kids, it's probably important in the few beginning weeks of dating to be like, hey, do you want to have kids? Because if you end up months down the road with someone and you realize that you're going totally different directions in life, you end up having a lot more heartbreak because you created this intimacy and gone longer than you want to. Yeah. So I think really being clear about like, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't work for me. And again, it doesn't have to be in a way that's like intimidating to the other person, but just really owning what's important to you.
And having those hard conversations. I will second that. If you do feel like it's easy to have conversations or hard conversations with that person, you're onto something.
You're onto something.
You are definitely onto something.
Because life gets really... it's going to be harder and harder and harder conversations. More things come up, so you're more to deal with.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like, we don't talk about it here, the hard conversations that we had earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one, my second one, which is the fourth way that you can improve your dating life is, and I'm kind of stealing something out of your playbook.
Ooh.
And it's learn how to connect to your body.
Oh.
Why? It's because your body does not lie. And so as you begin to practice self-awareness in your relationships or in your life, really, you can also become increasingly more self-aware around how your body is responding to the relationships or to the person that you're dating. I was dating somebody in the past, and throughout our dating experience, I would literally, and I'm not saying this to be like critical of her in any way, when I would lay down next to her, anxiety would just rush through my body. I would have like these, like I'm crawling out of my skin type of anxiety experiences. And
that sounds terrible.
It was terrible, but then I would literally be in my own space and go away, and that anxiety would subside, right? So every time I got like really close to her, I would feel this rush of anxiety. My body was telling me something is off here. And I think the challenging part about that is, especially if you're somebody that does a lot of inner work, or if you're somebody that does a lot of work on yourself, you can feel that and be like, oh, this means something is wrong with me and I got to stay in this relationship to fix this and to figure out what the root of this is. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I would just say that like, once you learn how to practice self-awareness and connect to your body and you begin to really understand what peace feels like, what joy feels like, what happiness feels like, and especially when you're around other people, how does your body respond? Your body knows things that we might not logically know up here, and it's learning how to trust what your body is trying to tell you, because there's wisdom inside of you. And a practical thing that you can do is start doing like a body scan before you walk into groups of people. So before you walk into a party, a dinner party, or over to a friend's house, a date, 100%, yeah, a date would be more applicable for this video. But take an account of how your body feels and like how you feel emotionally. And then when you get across from this person and you're having your dating experience, go to the bathroom, take account of how your body feels again, and do it again once you're done with that person. How does your body feel? And I think there's so much wisdom sitting there right for you in regards to, should I continue or should I walk away?
Yeah, and I think it can be as simple as like, does my body feel safe right now? Interesting. My body feels really safe when I'm around this person. Or, oh, interesting. I'm having a lot of anxiety every time. Yeah. My body is feeling tense every time I'm around this person. So, yeah,
I used to get into bad moods. I would be happy and then I'd be in a bad mood. And I'd be like, something's wrong here.
But really using the wisdom of the body, because it's, it's reading energy all the time. So just understanding, again, what it's communicating is very helpful in dating.
Well, there you have it. There are 4 ways that you can just bring up maybe a little bit more life or energy to your dating life. And the last thing I want to say is, wherever you are in your dating experience, I hope and we hope, I know I can speak for both of us here, that through it all, you are taking the time to show yourself some self-compassion.
Absolutely.
Show yourself some self-compassion wherever you are at, in relationships or in your dating life. And we will be back again soon.